that I had imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of women and business owners in general struggle with. And I had to learn how to deal with my internal objections of, do I belong in this room? Can I sell this product? Is someone going to believe what I say? And
hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, author, coach, speaker, entrepreneur. We talk all things about business and money. So I am excited for today's episode. If you have a business and you are in a male-dominated industry, this is the podcast episode for you. Today, I have Rebecca Tisbe with JVR Freight, and welcome.
hello. So happy to be here with you, Angela.
Yeah, so let's start off with your story. How did you get to what you're doing today?
Awesome. So my journey started many moons ago in the hospitality industry. I spent a wonderful 15 years in hotels and took a break to learn how to sell because it was definitely a skill I never worked on before. So I spent a year working at a private syndication, learning how to sell, and got an inspiration to start a business. My grandfather had a logistics business in the Philippines back in the 1960s. So I want to just pick up on where he left off and start that in the States. It's been almost a year now. I'm going to reach my year anniversary in October, which is super exciting. And here we are today.
Yeah,
that's me in the bullet point version.
Well, first off, congratulations. You made it a year. As we know statistically with a new business and a new venture that you not necessarily are quite as familiar with, the failure rate are pretty high. So congratulations on making it this far. So let's talk a little bit about, going from that sales and learning that sales background and kind of starting your own business now. What are some things that maybe you picked up from that sales position that you are finding is successful now being your own business owner?
Absolutely. Well, I identified that I had imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of women and business owners in general struggle with. And I had to learn how to deal with my internal objections of, do I belong in this room? Can I sell this product? Is someone going to believe what I say? And dealing with that imposter syndrome during my sales journey, 1,000% prepared me for my journey in entrepreneurship. So learning how to sell myself, learning how to deal with objections in others, and that whole emotional journey that no one really speaks about on the sales process, mastering that and getting through all my self imposter syndrome stuff has definitely helped a lot in my journey today.
Yeah. And I'll say that's probably a muscle that I still constantly work on because I just don't feel like it comes as naturally to me. And so sometimes I have to shift my mindset because I'm not a salesperson. That's what I tell myself, but if I can change it in my heart and in my mind that I have something that's important to that other person and I'm serving them. So if I'm not selling them, then just changing that word from selling to serving. So I think that's been a huge thing for me, but I have listened to you with your scripts. So talk about how do you kind of work on, and I don't want to call it scripts, but you have comebacks. Like when someone says something to you, you have something immediately to come back. So how do you work on like that aspect of your business?
Yes. Sometimes I forget that you've seen me live in action. I love it. Well, you learn how to deal with folks. It's kind of like when you walk in a store. So I'll give a little backstory. So you're walking a store and someone says, well, what can I help you with today? And the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, I'm just looking, or no, thank you. So when I talk with folks in person and it just comes to me, I'm not overthinking. So that's one. And two, it's folks that come out with natural reactions, like it's just organic. It's just what comes out. That's what we're geared and that's how we're programmed. And I just kind of play with it, agree, go along the lines and get back to the sale, get back to the real purpose and how we're there to help them. Coming from a place of service, like you said, is huge. And once you get past having sales breath, as they say, and really helping someone, it just comes out naturally.
So not accepting that no, kind of acknowledging it, and then going back to how you can serve that person that's standing in front of you.
Right. And making sure that I'm on the right product, making sure that I'm one, do they need my services? Is this something that's a great fit? Is it not a great fit? Is there something else in my pocket that I can offer them? Maybe it's a referral to another colleague. Maybe it's if I had a different product or service in my belt, then maybe that's something else I can offer them. It's our job to discover about the other person or fact find, as they say, what they need to really get into the sale, because otherwise you're wasting your breath.
Yeah, you're wasting their time and your time. So, the freight industry is definitely something I think of as more of a male dominated industry. So, being that you are a woman owned business, how do you kind of navigate through some of those challenges, perhaps that, a man is used to dealing with a man? How do you navigate through that and kind of, obviously show your value as well?
That's a really great question, and I'm glad you asked that. Well, I don't, well, I understand that this industry is about 97% male dominated, and I represent the 2 to 3% that's woman owned, that's minority owned, and I'm super proud of that. You just have to show up as yourself and as a business person, as an entrepreneur, and you make it an issue if it's an issue. Like it's not, I don't see it as something that I'm combating. I just see it as something that I'm representing. I see it as not a challenge. I see it as an opportunity, which is super exciting for me.
Good.
So in a nutshell, that's kind of how I approach it. And there are challenges with, well, where's the decision maker? Am I speaking to the right person? I just kind of let it fly off of me and say, well, I'm the CEO. I'm the person with the credit card. So you're the person, like I'm the person you need to sell.
Yeah.
And once you address that and you claim your position, you fly from there.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Claim your position. That's a good piece of advice when you're talking to someone. So, I mean, whether male, female, whether you're male, female, claiming your position as the owner of the company, as the decision maker, I really like that as well. So, you've been in business almost a year now. So, obviously, you've probably had some hurdles and some things that you've overcome. If someone is thinking about getting into the freight industry, perhaps what is something that you have learned over this past year that you were either surprised about or didn't know about, but you've definitely gotten past that hurdle?
I love that you mentioned the failure rate of businesses. The failure rate of transportation businesses is about 98%. So only 2% of businesses that started in 2023 are still active, still owning, still operating. I would 100% say do your research before getting into this industry. In logistics, just like with any other field, whether you have a service or product, there's a lot of social media hype around everything, whether it is with box trucks, with last mile deliveries, with any industry. There's so much hype that you just think like, okay, well, I could just start an LLC and I could just make millions of dollars. That's not the way to go. Do your research, understand what you're getting into, and surround yourself with a lot of folks that know a plethora of knowledge more than you, so that you can save on time with their mistakes. A piece of advice that I would give, especially for women-owned businesses, is get your business certified. In any field, anything you do, get it certified as women-owned, get it certified as minority-owned. It's a great way to diversify your income and revenue by having that certificate, and it opens so many doors.
That's a good piece of advice. I'm still working on mine. It's not as easy as I thought it would be, but that's why having the certification means something, is because it is a very thorough process that you have to go through, paperwork, and making sure that you complete everything correctly in order to get that certificate that says you are now certified. So I can see why it could open doors for us, because you have to put in a little bit of work to get it, right?
Absolutely. And it's an honor to have, because unfortunately what happens in these industries where it's male dominated is some folks unfortunately take that woman-owned certification and have someone else fill in the gap and claim a lot of set asides that they shouldn't be. And that's why the interview process is so intense now. I mean, it took me about 6 months and 2 Zoom interviews to get my certification. So if you do have it, congratulations. And if you're on your journey, keep going.
Yeah, that's for me for sure. All right, so I'm going to switch over to a fun question for you. if you could have a superpower or a super talent, what would it look like and why?
I would love the super talent. I would just love to fly anywhere. Like if I could just be Wonder Woman, that would be great. One, I don't have time to travel anymore as much on this journey. And two, if I could just get places faster and just be in so many places at once physically, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I
I
think
wouldn't
that.
I wouldn't want to read minds because I'm already too much in my own head. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I like that one. Awesome. So, if our audience wants to get in touch with you to learn more about the logistics industry or perhaps just, ask you questions about sales, how do they reach you?
Yes, Sisters in Supply Chain, definitely reach out. JVRFreight.com, Instagram, JVR Freight as well. We're on Facebook, and my email is Rebecca@JVRFreight.com. Let's please connect. And also check me out at LinkedIn, Rebecca Tisbe.
Awesome. I appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you having me, Angela.
Yeah, another episode of Empower Her Money. I'm Angela Duncan. Don't forget that when you listen to episodes like this fire one today, that you take the items and you go back and you implement it. Massive action, whether clean, whether dirty, take some action and utilize these tips and put them into your business.